Since so many of the characteristics that we use to identify a plant's family and species are to do with the flowers, I thought it would be useful to look at the structure of flowers and the parts they're made of. All flowers have more or less the same parts, or organs: the sepals, petals, stamens, and carpels. In some species, these have become modified or are missing. In some species, there are additional parts. Flowers are constructed in whorls of organs, circles of parts around a central point. Let's start from the outside and work in. The outermost whorl is the calyx. The calyx is the collective term for the sepals. The sepals protect the flower while it's developing in the bud. They're mostly green, but not always. The next whorl in is the corolla. The corolla is the collective term for the petals. The petals are generally the most eye-catching part of a flower. They tend to be bright colours and serve to attract pollinators to the flower. In some important groups of plants, the sepals and petals are very similar in colour and shape. Rather than try to differentiate between them, in these species they're all referred to as tepals. The tepals are collectively referred to as the perianth. Next, we have the stamens. The stamens are the equivalent of the male parts of the flower, and this whorl is called the androecium. Stamens are made up of an anther and a filament. The anthers produce and release pollen, which contains the male sex cells. The final, centremost whorl is made up of the carpels, the equivalent of the female parts of the flower. This layer is known as the gynoecium. Carpels are made up of an ovary, a style, and a stigma. The ovary contains ovules, which hold the female sex cells of the plant, and which become the seeds once they've been fertilized by pollen. Carpels may be separate or joined together to form a compound ovary. Ovaries may be superior, when the sepals, petals, and stamens are attached at the bottom of the ovary, or inferior, when the rest of the floral parts are attached at the top of the ovary. All of these floral organs are held on the receptacle, essentially the base of the flower. The whole flower sits on a stalk called the pedicel. A group of flowers is called an inflorescence. The inflorescence may be protected by structures called bracts. Well, that was a load of terminology. But the more you look at flowers and examine the parts, the more you'll get used to the terms, and you might be surprised at how quickly it happens. To summarise, flowers are made up of whorls of organs. There are the sepals, the petals, or a combination of the two known as tepals. Then we have the stamens, and in the centre the carpels, made up of ovary, style, and stigma. All these parts sit on a receptacle. Flowers are grouped into inflorescences, which may have bracts underneath. Next time you look at a flower, see if you can find and identify these different parts. Knowing them will help immensely with your ID.